Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report OU Football Edition. I'm Heath, with me Mark Rodgers, and we are at a wonderful, beautiful place, Pub W in Norman, Brookhaven Square. It's a great place, great food, great drinks, and we'll tell you all about it as we get started. But Mark, OU had a little more difficult time than maybe expected against UCF last Saturday, but in the end came through and won a game, and sometimes you just have to be lucky to kind of win those type of games.
Yeah, I mean, they were a little unlucky in the fact that they didn't make field goals that they attempted. They gave up some big plays, and they did still persevere and find a way to win. You know, we'll find out over the next 5 games if that was an omen or if it was just one bad Saturday.
Well, you know, and that's kind of the thing to figure out, and that's what I want to talk about this show is okay, so they struggled a little bit. Off week against a team that had gotten beat fairly handily the last time they had played, and so who knows? I mean, maybe, as you said, maybe a little overhype of OU Texas. You know, maybe a little hangover on that. But in the end, Dylan Gabriel, Nick Anderson, and Drake Stoops, and Devin Sawchuk and all the rest of them actually came through and won the game.
Yeah, they found a way to win.
Gavin, I'm sorry, I said Devin's Gavin Sawchuk. My fault, Gavin.
Well, I think that teams are going to adjust, and they're going to look at film, and they're going to figure out some things that works against the defense and offense, and that's going to be a challenge for OU. Next week, they've got a tough game against a good coach at Kansas, and so we'll see if they are up to the challenge.
You know, Lance Leipold is a good coach. I think he's, you know, he and the Kansas State coach came in and they didn't miss a beat. I mean, they came in and started winning right off the bat, and Leipold a little bit later than Kansas State. But you know, those guys are very experienced, well coached teams, and I think you're right. This is going to be a tough game for OU to go on the road and play at Kansas and in Lawrence, and we'll talk about that when we get back. But we are at Pub W, where they have great food, great drink specials. As a matter of fact, we're going to sample a little bit, a little fried chicken, a little case of Fundito, maybe some salmon, all that coming this way on the Oklahoma Sports Report right after this.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma-TED. Alma-TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills, like tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill, tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits, distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Guman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. And welcome back. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath here at Pub W for the Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark, I jotted down some thoughts during the game against UCF, and kind of one of those things that they offense, didn't get those field goals, which they would have made them a little bit more comfortable. But some of the things that happened, they ran the ball towards the end of the game better than they started out. Sawchuk. My question now, is he coming on, or is that just a blip in the screen? The offensive line, golly, still a question mark after Game 7. That's not good. Nick Anderson, what can you say? He's becoming a big-time player, big-time receiver. Drake Stoops, still clutch. Stogner, finally coming through, blocking more than receiving. And I think they should have Jahil Farouk run the ball more out of the backfield. Okay, so all of that being said, Let's go back to the beginning. Ran the ball in the fourth quarter better. Is there a reason for that, you think?
I don't know. It's a good thing. Why are they not running the ball at the beginning of the game? I'm not sure. UCF's got some big bodies up front. Maybe they're just kind of tired out a little bit. Gavin Sawchuk has been hurt, and I think that it's a good sign that he is coming on. I mean, and I think that's the truth. Tawi Walker's issue, whatever happened, is not good for him, I think, to have to miss a game because of discipline or whatever reason it might be, to allow somebody else in there to get the chance. And I think Sawchuk, to me, his speed is a differentiator between the other backs there. So Tawi Walker's one that they've liked a lot this year, but I think we might see more Sawchuk going forward. Well,
you could tell that he had just a little more juice.
Well, he's a really fast player, and he's small, but he did fumble the ball in the opening series, which was a complete mess, and so I think that he's got to have some more discipline. But we've really seen very little of him in an OU uniform, and I think when we have seen him, we felt like there's some potential there.
Offensive line, still kind of a question mark. Now, they've got 3 of them locked in the 4th spot, and injuries are all taking a toll.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of those things that, a lot of teams have to deal with is injuries, but man, right here, that offensive line generally by now is finding its rhythm and finding its strength.
Well, the guard spots have been fluctuating, but the tackle spots have been fairly solid most of the season, but they weren't very good on Saturday. So, sometimes there's guys out there that are pretty good. Like if you go back to the Cincinnati game, you had Corleone and Rame, and that was a bad spot for Rame. I mean, there's going to be some good players on other teams. So that's, again, that's a position that it's not elite. It's not it's not mid-80s offensive line,
Well, you look at it, and they've always given up, a first-round tackle, in the last 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and now I don't see one maybe on this, maybe Rouse, but that who knows? It's still a little bit of a question mark, and it shouldn't be at Game 7. We'll find out more on Saturday. 2 things about the receiving corps. Nick Anderson has proven himself to be a big play receiver.
Well, the field wasn't stretched necessarily on Saturday, and that may be an example of Andrell Anthony being gone with his great speed. But yeah, they're great at that position. It's one of the strengths of the team for sure. Drake Stoops is always underrated because he blocks and he's great getting open and usually finds a way to run the football. I think Farouk's good. They're really good at those inside positions. Nick Anderson, I think, does have a bright future too. It seems like he's always catching a touchdown pass every
Well,
day.
yeah, at one time he had 12 receptions and 7 touchdowns. That's pretty big time.
Yeah.
I got some Dylan Gabriel stats for you.
Yep.
Dylan Gabriel this year is 4th in the country in points per game, attributed to him at 20.6. He's 5th in total offense in the nation, not the Big 12.
Sure.
He's 6th in passing TDs. He has 16 TDs passing. He's 4th in passing efficiency. No, 7th. Excuse me. 7th in passing efficiency and 9th in passing completion percentage. And he has a chance to set an OU record for passing efficiency and percentage held by Baker Mayfield.
He's having a great season. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick in this game. The OU offense wasn't outstanding, and I think probably scored enough points for him to, keep his progression going in the Heisman race, but it was maybe a little bit of a step back there. There were other players like the favorite Michael Penix that didn't have a great game, but still good enough for Dylan Gabriel. I think the Kansas game will be more points.
Well, it will be, and that's the Kansas game is going to be, you look at it, and we're going to talk about this next one, it's the 2 strengths of the team. Kansas' offense against, rushing attack, Kansas rushing attack and offense against OU's defense, and their rushing defense. So we'll talk more about that from Pub W. It's Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath. We'll be right back.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma-TED. Alma-TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from Pub W. And they just brought us this wonderful queso fundido with the chips and the queso and the poblano peppers and the cilantro, and oh, that all looks good. That looks good.
Hey, the appetizers here are very, very unique. A lot of the food items are. They're always really, really good.
Really good. They got great food, great drinks, and yeah, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But no, that's appetizing for sure. You know, here is how I look at the game Saturday in Lawrence. OU has the #1 rushing defense in the Big 12. Against Kansas, has the #1 rushing offense in the Big 12. Strength on strength.
Yeah. Well, Kansas has been pretty good running the football, but they would be better, I think, if Jalen Daniels was the quarterback. Jason Bean has had some issues at times. The one thing I think could be problematic for OU is formations. Kansas runs a lot of different formations. They're really difficult to defend, and a lot of times there's confusion in the secondary and the defensive backfield. And OU gave up some big plays in the game against Central Florida, so they're going to have to be buttoned down this week because I think Kansas could hit them with some big plays, especially in their home field.
Well, you know, and that's what you're going to have to expect. If you're an OU fan, you're going to have to expect Kansas is going to have some success. OU's not going to be able to shut them down. They've got too good of offense. They're too well coached. And they're gonna find, you know, like you said, with their formations, they're gonna find a crease in there and a mistake somewhere, and they're gonna have big plays. UCF had big plays, and you know that Kansas is going to have big plays too.
Well, OU's defense, I thought, showed some weakness in the middle of the field, and if you think about it, it's pretty natural that that's the case. Their linebackers, Koenig and Stutzman, are really good against the run. And like you said, OU's got the best run defense in the conference. But play action pass, dropping into zones, safeties are also very good against the run, but not as good against the pass. So that creates a lot of space in the middle of the field. And so I think Kansas is going to be able to take advantage of that.
Well, you know, and like you said, if Daniels was quarterbacking, it'd be even more so because he puts so much pressure on his ability to run. Mm-hmm. You know, Bean not as much but not as much. He's more of the passing kind. But you know, it's gonna stress the OU defense. And so for the OU fans, they're gonna have to expect Kansas to have success. The question is can OU match that? And I look for that to be answered with the way Dylan Gabriel's playing, the way the offense is playing. I think it's going to be a match set up there where the offenses are going to shine off.
Well, Kansas is good in the secondary. Kenny Logan is an all Big 12 player. Kobe Bryant is a very good cover corner. And so OU, again, against Central Florida, a team that given up a ton of rushing yards in the conference, they weren't able to take advantage of that very much. This game is on the road at 11 a.m. when it's kind of tough in a stadium that doesn't have a lot of intensity. Is that OU really needs to challenge, I think, its offensive line and running backs to be able to establish the run. Because if you just come out and have to throw it against this Kansas team, you can turn the ball over a little bit and you could be in trouble.
Well, you know, and like you said, the old saying is the defense travels. All right, so the defense should be okay. You know, with the exception of maybe a few big plays or a couple of big plays. You know, rushing defense against rushing offense probably equals out. But you're right. I mean, offensively, can they do enough running? You know, UCF had 2 100-yard rushers, you know, and so that's not something OU's been able to demonstrate. They're going to have to on Saturday.
I think so. I think this is going to be a really tough spot for the OU, just OU in general. So if they go up there and get a win this week, next 2 weeks really also, Oklahoma State is going to be a tough opponent in Stillwater.
Yeah, you know, on the road like this, they haven't really been challenged. They went to Cincinnati. They struggled a little bit. Cincinnati has a good defense, but they struggle a little bit offensively at Cincinnati. So this will be another good test, And I think you're right. I mean, Gavin Sawchuk has to be able, or whoever, whether Tyree Walker, whomever, needs to be able to run that ball. And when they do, they need to run it effectively on first down and not be stuck in 3rd and long.
I think if there's a loss on the schedule, it's coming in the next 2 weeks.
I agree. Hey, we'll be right back. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from Pub W. And welcome back. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from Pub W in Norman. There's 6 Pub W's around. Great food. Great appetizer like they brought us here at Queso Fundido. We're going to get some fried chicken. They have fried chicken specials. Your mama would be proud of this fried chicken, let me tell you. And we get some baked salmon coming in. They got great appetizers, great drinks, and great entrees here at Pub W. Lance Leopold, the coach at Kansas, he didn't have much Power 5 experience, but he came from Buffalo. He came from Wisconsin Whitewater, where he won national championships. So he's come with the pedigree of winning wherever he's been. And now he's got Mike DeBold, his offensive coordinator, and they've crafted a really, really good offense there in Kansas.
He reminds me of Art Briles. I mean, he spreads the field. I think he really understands the game. He's confident in what he's doing. And I think he also is able to find the right personnel to run the schemes. And when you spread the field a lot like they do, they create running lanes. They create confusion in the defense. It's solid. Immediately he had to turn around to Kansas, who hadn't won in a long time.
Yes.
And had a long stretch of not hiring very good coaches. It's a tough place to recruit. They're trying to improve the facilities there, and OU fans will see that they're working on the stadium in Lawrence right now, but he's done a fantastic job.
I remember the first game I attended, OU played, and they got beat. OU was one
1984?
of the 1984.
Yeah.
They got up there.
Danny Bradley got hurt.
Yeah, and Bradley got hurt, and a guy that played in the NFL was the quarterback for Kansas, and they did quite well on that day. But anyway, so Leopold, does he stay at Kansas? I mean, I heard rumblings of Michigan State.
Man, Michigan State's a tough job. Kansas has become a little bit better job now that, again, they've got some money put into the stadium, and Oklahoma and Texas are gone from the Big 12. I mean, if you look at all the titles that Oklahoma's won, there's a vacuum there. Somebody's going to have to step in and win. I don't know, man. Michigan State competing with Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, now USC, and Oregon and Washington in the Big Ten. I'm not sure.
Well, hey, they got $80 million to spend. They don't have to pay it.
Mel Tucker only earned 1 year of his $9 million a year salary. So, I mean, if you're not winning, then you can get the money for that long.
Anyway, so it's going to be interesting if he does stick around. I think it's a good job for him. He has some loyalty there. He says he doesn't want to move out. We'll see. Let's talk a little bit about some Big 12 games coming up.
All right.
BYU at Texas.
This, I think, is a Texas win. There's some quarterback issues at Texas. Shane Ewers is going to be out for a couple of weeks. I think they can get by with their freshman quarterback, Malik. I mean, McDonald is a really good player. So I think that he's going to be tough to stop. I think the more snaps he gets, the better they're going to be.
And the Texas team, even though that they are weakened at quarterback, they still are learning. I mean, they still have that good running back, good running attack, a strong defense.
Good skill.
BYU, even though they're big and strong and very experienced, they still lack a running attack, and their defense is not very good.
Yeah, well, they lack a lot. If you look at the game against Texas Tech, they win last Saturday, but they only get 250 yards of offense. They did create 4 turnovers. Now, it's a good way to win a game if you're +4 in the turnover situation, but I think Texas handles it pretty easily.
All right, Houston at Kansas State. Houston off a very impressive almost win against Texas, and if it wasn't for a very controversial call on a non-spot late in the fourth quarter, may have beaten Texas.
Houston looks better at home than they do on the road. I don't know what the situation is if teams are taking them lightly. Now remember, Texas was up 21-0 in that game early, and then was in for a dogfight after that. I don't see Kansas State having any issue at home.
I don't see it either. West Virginia at UCF.
Yeah, it's a good game. I think West Virginia lost a tough one to Oklahoma State last week at home. UCF still doesn't have a win in conference. So I'll go with West Virginia in that game.
Well, you know, that's one of those, I think West Virginia gets caught up because they're on the road, you know, and they like you just said, some teams play better at home like Houston does and doesn't travel. I think it's a UCF gets their first win.
Disagree on that.
Okay, Iowa State at Baylor. Does Baylor hold court there?
I'm going to say Iowa State wins this game. Baylor's had a hard time protecting their quarterback. It was a good win for them in Cincinnati. I didn't know that they could do that. Shapen's playing very well with limited resources up front, but I'm going to go Iowa State.
Okay, and how about Cincinnati at OSU? I think we found out last week who the third best team is in the Big 12.
I still think it might be Kansas State, but I'm going to go OSU in this game.
OSU in that game. Okay, I got OU predicted 44-31 against Kansas.
All right, I'm going to say closer than that. I'm going to say Oklahoma wins at 38-37. I think it'll be a barn burner.
There you go. I hope so, too. Hey, hope they win.
Yeah.
As an OU fan. That's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week on the Oklahoma Sports Report.